Did you know that the worst part of a relationship isn't even betrayal, it's habit? The habit of tolerating people who don't value you. Who, for years, take advantage of your kindness, your time, your resources. And in return, give you nothing but indifference or even mockery. I've been through it myself. There were people I considered friends. I helped them, supported them, was there for them. And then one day, I realized, to them, I was just a convenient option. Today, we're going to break down 7 tough but effective ways to deal with people who don't value you. This isn't just theory, it's what actually works in the world we live in. A world where thank you is often forgotten, and kindness is taken for granted. We live in a society where enduring mistreatment is almost seen as a virtue. Don't hold a grudge, they say. Forgive, he's a good person. You just have to get along somehow. Sounds familiar, right? But here's the problem. The more you tolerate, the less you're respected. And that's not just my opinion, Carl Jung once said. What you do not make conscious will direct your life, and you will call it fate. If you spend years ignoring your feelings of being undervalued, that's not humility, it's self-deception. And sooner or later, it turns into resentment, depression, or even illness. So, let's break down all the methods and strategies for dealing with those who don't value you so you can significantly improve your life. The first step is both the simplest and the hardest. Just stop being available. This method is called no contact. Stop giving them bonuses. Stop doing what makes you convenient. Cancel the help, the gifts, the emotional support. People often start to value you only when they lose the privileges they've taken for granted. Don't be the first to text. Don't call just because. And definitely don't offer help unless they ask for it. Tested and proven, 80% of those people won't even notice you're gone. And the ones who do will start behaving differently. Take back your convenience. Did they use you as a free taxi? Say, sorry, I can't today. No explanations. Did they treat you like a free therapist, always unloading their emotions on you? Stop being their psychologist for nothing. Did they only call when they needed something? From now on, you're always busy. And like I said, to 80% of these people won't even notice you're gone. They'll simply find someone else convenient to replace you, and that's an excellent filter. Now you know for sure who never valued you. And about 20% will be the ones who ask, what happened? You've disappeared. Those are the people you can actually work with. Maybe they'll finally start respecting you. The truth is, people only value what they can lose. As long as you're always available, you're like air to them, unseen, but necessary. But once you disappear, they either start gasping and begin to appreciate you, or they find another source of air. And in that case, there's nothing for you to regret. And if you think this sounds like manipulating people, it's not. It's about setting healthy boundaries. If someone truly cares about you, they'll notice your absence. And if they don't, well, then you've simply made space for those who will truly value you. The second method or step in dealing with those who don't value you is this. Compare their behavior with how they treat others. Let's do a simple experiment. Think about how this person interacts with people they truly respect. With their boss, they're polite, attentive, always responsive. With people they need, they smile, make conversation, show up on time. But with you, they give short replies, forget things that matter to you, show little interest. Now ask yourself one question. Would my friend or partner act this way towards someone they truly respect? If the answer is no, then it's not your fault, it's their choice. You're not asking for too much. They are simply choosing how to treat you. So why does this method work? It's simple, because you stopped lying to yourself. Before, you might have made excuses. That's just the way he is, or maybe I did something wrong. But now, you see the truth. He treats others differently, which means he can behave better. He just chooses not to with you. You switch to cold logic instead of emotions. Is it hurtful? Yes, but now you have facts, not guesses. As Jung said, what is not acknowledged controls us. What is acknowledged is already under our control. Simply stop waiting for such people to change. If a person can be attentive but chooses not to be for you, it's a conscious decision. Start investing your energy in those who reciprocate. In Russia, there is a saying, better a bird in the hand than a crane in the sky. But if the bird is someone who doesn't value you, maybe it's better to let go and search for those who will truly appreciate you. I used to think, just a little longer and they'll realize how important I am to them. But then I saw how these same people completely transform when they're around someone more important than them. That's when it hit me. It's not that I'm not good enough for them, it's that they're not good enough for me. Since then, I've followed a simple rule. If someone puts you last in their life, don't even give them a small part of yours. Have you ever noticed how differently people behave with you compared to others? Write it down, let's discuss. I'd love to hear your story. The third method on our list is the silent exit method. Distance yourself without unnecessary words. And you know what's the strangest part? The more we try to explain to people that they're hurting us, the less they understand. They either don't believe it, oh, come on, you're just imagining things, or they get angry, what, you're upset. You're so sensitive, or they pretend to understand, but in a week, everything repeats again. So now, let me tell you about the most powerful yet quiet way to make someone realize they're losing you. Without arguments, without lectures, without those endless let's talk ... double quotes just start disappearing. Before, you were the one who texted first, how are you? Now, you wait for them to reach out. Before, you suggested meeting up, now let them do it. You used to keep the conversation going, now you reply briefly, but politely. You simply stop being their emotional donor. If they complain about life, you quickly change the subject. If they ask for advice, you say, I'm probably not the best person to help with that. If they expect you to entertain them, you respond, sorry, I'm not really in the mood to chat right now. And if you truly matter to them, they'll start reaching out. If not, they won't even notice your absence. And believe me, that's better than the usual drama and exhausting conversations. In our cultures, there's this bad habit, if someone is hurt, they're expected to explain why. People even try to guilt trip you when they realize they're the ones at fault, saying things like, only the offended carry the burden. But don't listen to that. Think about it, if someone hasn't appreciated you for years, will they really understand you after one heart-to-heart talk? Didn't they already know they were ignoring your feelings? Of course they did. It was just convenient for them. Silence isn't weakness, it's a test. For them, can they live without your attention? For you, can you live without their indifference? Here's a secret, of course you can, don't be afraid. I had a friend, 14 years of friendship. I was always the first to ask how things were going. The first to say happy birthday, the first to suggest meeting up. One day I thought, enough is enough, and I stopped writing. A month went by, then two, then a year, and he never reached out. That's when I realized it wasn't really a friendship, it was my illusion. The reality was, they simply forgot about me and never once thought to check in. So, what should you do if they eventually ask, hey, where have you been? Don't justify yourself. Don't say, I was just busy. That gives them the idea that you're still hooked, still available. Instead, say, it just happened, and change the subject. Watch their reaction. If the person genuinely seems concerned, maybe they deserve a second chance. But if they disappear again after your reply, it means they were just curious, not genuinely interested. Carl Jung once said that loneliness is not the absence of people, but the absence of understanding. And if, after your quiet withdrawal, a person wasn't afraid to lose you, it means they had already emotionally left your life long ago. And now you have a choice, keep chasing after them, or finally turn toward those who are walking to meet you. The fourth method is the mirror method. Start treating people exactly the way they treat you, not harshly, just like a mirror. If they don't message you, you don't message them. If they show no interest in your life, don't show interest in theirs. Imagine that every person is a mirror. They reflect exactly what you show them. And if you've been tolerating their indifference for years, there's nothing surprising in the fact that they've gotten used to not valuing you. But today, we flip the script. You become their reflection. How does it work? Simple. You stop giving more than you receive. If they write you once a month, you reply just as rarely. If they forget to ask how you're doing, don't ask about them either. If they cancel plans last minute, suddenly you'll have things to do too. You stop being convenient. Before, you adjusted to their schedule, now, only if it suits you. Before, you forgave rudeness, now, you say, sorry, I don't let people talk to me like that. You let them feel what it's like. People quickly learn the rules of the game once they're in your shoes. Why is this more effective than just staying silent? In our countries, there's a saying, you reap what you sow. But for some reason, People often forget that it works both ways. If someone doesn't call, it means they don't consider you important. If they never thank you, it means they take your help for granted. If they don't support you during tough times, it means they're only interested in what benefits them. The mirror simply reflects the truth. I had a friend I'd been in touch with for years. I always asked how she was doing, supported her, helped out, and she replied only when it was convenient for her. One day, I decided, fine, I'll respond to her the same way she responds to me. The first month, she didn't notice. The second, she started writing more often. By the third month, she asked, "Why have you become so cold?" I said, "I'm just behaving the same way you do." At first, she was offended. Then she started to reflect. 6 months later, she began calling me first, not always, but way more than before. Because a mirror doesn't lie, it simply shows someone who they really are. But if a person sees their reflection and still chooses not to change, that's their decision. Your decision is to stop wasting your energy on them. Don't be angry. Don't feel guilty. They might accuse you, you've changed. Just reply, "No, I've just stopped being the person you were used to." If the mirror doesn't work, it means that person isn't capable of seeing themselves from the outside, and that means they'll never truly change. Jung once said, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life." In other words, we see in others what exists within ourselves, but this works both ways. If someone sees you as a true friend, they'll treat you like one. If they see you as someone convenient, they'll use you. So become a mirror, and you'll instantly see who you truly are to them. Personally, this method has never failed me. It's worked for years. And what about you? Have you ever tried this approach in your own life? Did it work? Share your story. Let's talk about it. The fifth method that can truly help you is the replacement method. It's simple. Replace your habit of pleasing with the principle of mutuality. Stop investing your time, energy, and emotions into people who take your kindness for granted. Instead, redirect that energy toward those who genuinely value you. If someone doesn't reciprocate, it's not your failure, it's their choice. But you are the one who chooses whether or not to continue a one-sided relationship. Rather than trying to please those who don't appreciate it, focus on building connections based on mutual respect and effort. Invest only in people who are willing to invest in you. This isn't selfishness, it's wisdom. Ask yourself, does this person take initiative, or is it always you? Do they care about your needs the same way you care about theirs? Have you become the convenient one they rely on but never really value? Gently move those who only take but never give to the periphery of your life. And use the time and energy you free up to focus on people who genuinely celebrate your wins. On activities that bring you joy. On yourself, because you deserve the same care you give to others. Don't explain, don't justify. You don't owe anyone an announcement that you've stopped over-investing. Just act. Become a little less available. Stop initiating meetings or offering help first. If someone asks you for something, sometimes say no, without guilt, and watch how they react. That's when people's true colors come out. If they notice the shift and ask what's going on, that might be a chance for an honest conversation. But if they disappear or get offended, it means they only valued what you gave, not who you are. Understand this: one-sided relationships are draining. They're like a black hole. The more you give, the more is expected from you. Mutual relationships, on the other hand, build healthy connections where there's respect, gratitude, and genuine joy for each other. You know, Carl Jung once said, "The most dangerous trap for a person is their unconscious attitude." And it's true. Have you ever noticed how often we cling to people who stopped valuing us long ago? We tolerate their coldness, we justify their indifference. All because we're afraid to face the truth. If someone isn't reciprocating, then you simply don't matter to them. Jung called this the shadow of a relationship, when one gives, and the other only takes, and you know what's truly dangerous. The longer you allow this dynamic, the deeper your soul starts to believe, maybe I don't deserve more. But here's the truth. Your worth doesn't depend on those who fail to see it. Let me repeat that as someone with experience in psychology. If someone doesn't value you, it's not a flaw in your heart, it's a blindness in theirs. Jung suggested a simple process. First, become aware: does this person truly not value me, or is it just my perception? Write down 3 real examples, then talk to them not with blame, but with observation. I've noticed my efforts often go unnoticed. Why is that? Then act. If nothing changes after the conversation, step back. Not out of anger, but with dignity. Yes, it will hurt. But the pain of walking away is nothing compared to the years of quiet humiliation. And even if you lose a friend, so what? Jung would say, you're not losing a friend, you're making space for someone who's truly meant to be there. Remember, the world is full of people who won't understand you, and that's okay. Some won't appreciate you, and that's their right. But there are also those who will see the sun in you, and for them, life is worth living. As Jung once said, the best thing you can do for those who don't value you is to stop being part of their life, and for yourself start a new chapter. The next method is the open conversation method. Speak openly with the person about the issue face to face. For example, if you've noticed that your efforts go unnoticed, say it directly. It matters to you, and you want things to change. And if the person doesn't respond or show any willingness to change, that's your sign to move on to the actions from method 3. Speak to the person clearly, with no vague phrases. Look them straight in the eye. Say something like, let's be honest, if you really don't want to help, just say so. Because right now, it feels like I'm always there for you, and you're not there for me. After this kind of conversation, there are usually 3 possible outcomes, at least among more or less reasonable people. The person apologizes and changes their behavior. That means they simply didn't notice the problem. These are the people worth keeping in your life. They start making excuses. That's a red flag. They don't understand at all or turn it around and blame you. That's when you should confidently apply method 3, distance. And remember what Carl Jung said, what is not made conscious will direct your life, and you will call it fate. As long as you stay silent, the same situation will keep repeating. From my experience, once I started speaking up calmly, without aggression or begging, about 50% of people actually began to treat me better. As for the rest, well, that's their choice. The main thing is, don't be afraid. The next method that will undoubtedly help you is leaving without regret. At some point, there comes a moment when you have to take the hardest but most liberating step. Just walk away. I remember holding on for years to relationships where I was taken for granted. Like many others, I thought, maybe I should just hang in there a bit longer. Maybe they'll change, and those thoughts wouldn't leave me alone. Until one day, I realized nothing is changing. Not after honest conversations, not after all the efforts to reconnect. The person stayed the same. And that can only mean one thing: they want it that way. In our culture, we're often raised with this strange idea of self-sacrifice. Endure it for the sake of the relationship. You should always forgive. If not you, then who? But the truth is, you're not obligated to stay where you're constantly devalued. But Carl Jung said something wise: where there is no reciprocity, there is no real connection. There is only habit and dependency. And in order to leave, you need to know how to leave properly. Without loud scenes, you've already said everything in the open conversation. Without guilt, you've given the person all the chances. With gratitude, even negative experiences have taught you something. You know, I've left relationships like this more than once. And you know what's most surprising? Very quickly, new people came to fill the space I freed up. The ones who, from day one, appreciated both my time and my kindness. Imagine your life is a book. Some characters appear only on one page, while others stay for an entire chapter. But only you decide who will remain until the very last page. Don't be afraid to turn the page, my friends. Trust me, new chapters always turn out to be far more interesting than the old ones that should have ended long ago. If you're afraid to take this step now, just imagine yourself a year from now. How will you look back on this moment? With bitter regret that you didn't leave earlier, or with a light sense of relief that you finally freed yourself? Choose wisely. You truly deserve better. There's an old truth that never loses its relevance. How you treat yourself is how others will treat you. You don't have to be convenient for everyone. You don't have to tolerate those who don't see you. And you certainly don't have to justify their behavior. Try these methods, not for revenge, but for yourself. To finally realize that your time, your feelings, your life, they are truly worth something. How do you deal with those who don't appreciate you? Be sure to write your thoughts. Let's discuss it together. If this video was helpful, please like it and share it with the right people. It will help others change their lives for the better.